Good morning, class. Today I'm going to introduce you to the easiest way to divide a polynomial if you are given a multiple choice problem. All right, so this is the easiest way to handle a polynomial division problem. All right, so this method will help you tremendously. So we have a division problem. We should divide x squared plus 3x plus 5 by x plus 1. All right, now we have 4 possible choices, and the question is asking us which of the following is the correct response. All right, I taught you 2 separate methods you can use. All right, but for this particular method we are going to be using a graphing utility known as Desmos. Yes, now what I want you to do is to listen carefully to what I have to say. All right, so I'm going to go to Google. I'm going to type Desmos, and where you see at the top Desmos Beautiful Free Math, we are going to choose that, and then you're going to click on Graphing Calculator. All right, now I'm going to go back to my question, and where it says divide x squared plus 3x plus 5 by x plus 1, I'm going to enter this division problem in Desmos. All right, so our first expression is x squared plus 3x plus 5. All right, so I'm going to type x. Now notice we have a keyboard in the bottom left corner of the page. All right, so you can use your keyboard to access whatever you need. All right, so x, and I'm gonna click a to the b to get my exponent. So a to the b to get my exponent. Our exponent is 2. All right, then we should what? Add 3x. All right, so plus 3x. All right, plus 5 plus 5. All right, now it is important to use parentheses. All right, it's always good to use parentheses. All right, now it says divided by x plus 1, so divided by, so I'm going to look for the division button. All right, and then I'm going to type x plus 1. That is what I'm dividing by. All right, x plus 1. All right, now notice that we have a graph here, and this graph is in red. All right, so this graph has 2 pieces. All right, so the graph for our division problem is what we see in red, the graph that we see in red. All right, sorry. I'll go right here. And the next step is I'm going to enter the expression for a, all right? So that is x minus 4. So in the next row, I'm going to type, and I'm going to use parentheses, x minus 4, all right, plus, it says plus negative 6 over x plus 1, negative 6. So negative 6 over, so I'm going to use division to get yes, just like that, all right? And then I'm going to use parentheses, and it says what? X plus 1, all right? X plus 1. All right, so I enter the first choice from the multiple choice problem. Now notice that the graph for the expression that I just entered is the one in blue. Now notice that the graph that is in blue is different from the one that is in red. Now what that says to us is that A is not the answer, all right? Because the new graph is different from the original graph. So A is not the answer, all right? So I'm going to go to the corner and I'm going to hide the graph for A, all right? It's difficult to press this thing here. All right, I can't really see it here. All right, I was trying to hide the blue graph, all right, but I can't. All right, the next step, I am going to enter what I have for B. Now notice that we have x plus 7 and remainder 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type x plus 7 parentheses x plus 7 close parentheses, and it says the remainder is 1. So I'm going to write or type plus 1. 1 is the remainder that was given to us. Now I'm going to write 1 over x plus 1. X plus 1 is the divisor. Alright, so I'm going to write the remainder, which is 1, for B, over the divisor x plus 1. Alright, so divide it by x plus 1. Now notice now, this expression that I just typed gave us this graph that is in green. Now notice now that the graph that is in green is different from this graph which is in red. So the graph that is in red is for the original division problem, all right? And the graph, the expression that I just typed, this one right here, gives me the graph that is in green, all right? Now, because the graph that is in green is different from the one that is in red, that represents the original problem, B is not the answer, all right? B is not the answer, all right? B is not the answer. All right, now I'm going to type what I have for C in the next row in decimals, all right? And that is what? X minus 3, x minus 3. So in the next row, I'm going to type x minus 3. Notice now, we have a new graph, which is in purple. That is the graph for the expression x take away 3. All right? Now, the graph in purple is different from the graph that is in red, which means that C is not the answer. All right. So when I say the graph is different, I mean the graph looks different. All right. Yeah. Two different graphs. All right. So because the graph for x take away 3 is different from the graph of the original problem, which is the graph in red, C is not the answer. C is not the answer. All right. Now we have one more choice. All right, which is D. So I'm going to enter the expression that I see for D. Sorry about that interruption. I'm going to enter the expression for D in the next row. All right. So our next row, right. So I'm going to type x plus 2 in parentheses, x plus 2 in parentheses, plus 3 over x plus 1, plus 3 over x plus, so let me use parentheses, x plus 1. Notice something here. Notice something here. We have a graph that is in black. All right? We have a graph that is in black. Yes? And let me show you something very important. The graph that is in black, it falls directly on the graph of the original problem, which is in red. All right? So notice, this is very important. This is the graph of the original problem. This is the original problem. All right? All right? Now, when I entered the final expression, which is for D as in donut, yes? That graph, that black graph that represents the final expression that I entered, it fell directly on the original graph. And what that says to us, our answer is D. Our answer is D. All right? Our answer is D. All right? So this is a very simple method to use. All right? So all you need to do is you enter your original problem in Desmos, and then you enter each possible response in separate rows and check to see which graph for a solution choice falls directly on the graph for the original division problem. Let me repeat that. So you would enter your original division problem, then you enter the responses, the possible responses in the rows below, and check to see which graph for one of those choices would fall directly on the graph for the original problem. All right. And finally, I want to point something out here. All right. Anytime you're given a solution choice where you have an expression and a remainder, you will have to enter the expression, in this case x plus 7, and then you're going to say plus your remainder, in this case, which is 1, over your divisor, which is, in this case, x plus 2. That is how you would have to enter this information in Desmos. Yes? And this is what I did right here. Alright? Sorry, right here. So this is x plus 7. I know you cannot see the x, but it is x plus 7 plus your remainder 1 over your divisor x plus 1. Alright? So that is what I did for B. That is how I entered B. Sorry about that. That is how I entered B in Desmos. Alright? Now I know that it's a very long video. I apologize for that. But this is going to help you tremendously. Alright? If you don't understand this video, I would advise you to watch it again. Alright? Alright, so have a great day, class.